Hello and welcome to Reuzel Live. Today is November the 17th, coming from all the way across the United States in Roseville, California. We have a very special presentation with Scumbassdor Court Dingwall. Take away, Court.
Well, thank you, thank you. We're going to be doing a mid-length shag today. Going to be emphasizing one of our new products, the texture grooming tonic texture cream, along with the surf cream to finish off the look for us today. So just like all our haircuts that we do, going to be putting in our primary parting. Some of these sections are going to be a little different throughout the haircut compared to the classics. My first section, what I'm doing is going to be in the front corner on the side. What I'll be doing is separating it out. That way, as I go through, what I'll be doing here in this first section is I will be pulling the hair forward and sections coming up. That way, so I can help start to establish my perimeter. Guidelines below. And I'm just going to keep running sections up this square right here of the front area until I run out of hair. Remember, your last gather always comes from your guide. Guide being below, coming up from below. Once I've gotten my length on my side, what I'm going to be doing is taking my section up near the top, which is going to be a 1-inch section, which is going to be at the squarest part of the head. Right there, as you can see. From here, I'm going to be using the guide that I created from below, pulling out. And there it is. From here, I now have established my guideline to go into the back. Now the back's going to have two different types of sections since we are going to be doing it horizontally, creating length and weight for our shag. Establishing that baseline through the top. Now, doing our haircuts, one thing we got to remember is our wonderful Reuzel routine of things, which I have already done prior to my client wetting down during the 2-minute countdown. I threw in some hair tonic, the good old blue stuff. What it's going to do is it's going to help me create good sectioning throughout this haircut. Now, doing a shag of such, having those clean sections throughout your service is going to really increase a much better haircut utilizing that product. So, hair tonic, it's a wonder. Mixing it into your spray bottle, applying it to the scalp. You could use it either or. I do know in some places I've traveled to, the hair tonic cannot go into your spray bottle. It has to be labeled such different. Here in California, you just label it as so, hair tonic plus water, and it's good to go. So one thing to keep in mind. Now, as I progress into the back, I'll be working through zones 2 and 3 from the front corner of what I was on the side. Taking vertical partings here. Making my way around to center back. Last gather from the guide. My sections that I'm taking are about a 1/2 inch section with a moving guide. Hopefully everybody else has better weather than where I'm at. Hopefully the rain doesn't pound through the windows today.
Hey, Court.
Yes, sir.
Can you move the camera slightly to your, I think it's your right? Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Now, once you get to center back, you can go a little bit further if you'd like. It's just going to make making the connecting to the other side a little bit easier. Don't need to go all the way through the back from your dominant side to your non-dominant side, but just to go just a little bit beyond center back, it's just going to help it out when you connect to the other side. Primary parting on my non-dominant side now, as we always start with the dominant side first, then follow to the non-dominant side second. The primary parting isn't going to be dipping down too far in the back, which you might normally see with the classic cuts. For this haircut, the primary parting is going to come up a little higher into the crown instead of the traditional dipping down to above the occipital. Clean sections, clean haircut. Remember, what you do to one side, you do the other side. So when I switch sides, I will also be switching my hand placement to fingers down. And then gathering it all here, taking it down to my guideline for the perimeter. Back up to establishing the baseline. Cross check for the verticalness. And moving our way back to the round and center back. Now we all have a tough side to each head, being right-handed. It gets difficult doing upcutting through the lower zones here. Just remember to do your best. And don't forget that your client's head does move. That's always one thing that reiterate when you do move your client's head, be cautious of the tilt that you put it into to cut that section of hair that you have done. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful Monday here, middle of November. I know we're all around the globe. I don't know about other countries, but the feast season's upon us, as well as all those wonderful family photos, haircuts before family trips. So to get a little of that education before the big old rush comes in, that's some great stuff for all the viewers out there. You never know what you're going to have as a client that comes in that asks for certain haircuts, and to always be able to help educate yourself, which is going to be the key. Keep educating yourself. And when you do, you stay with the trends, you stay with the new things that are going on with the people that you do work with or cut. Now that I've established the length around, I'm going to be establishing my perimeter, starting in the center back, pulling it all straight down, 0 degrees. Now, the front section that we did, we want to connect it, and that's going to create our perimeter. So as we transition from the back, what you're going to be looking for is also where you're going to connect to the front. And that's now connected. Going on to the other side. Starting once again from center back, moving now to the right. And it now connects. For the top portion of the head, it's going to be very similar to what we do with all of our classic cuts, and that's going to be starting with a center part straight down the middle. this is going to do is help us connect from the sides into the top of our haircut. Once you put in your center part, you're going to be bisecting it to just behind the ear, which is going to give you your 4 quadrants through the top of the head. Now from your 4 quadrants that you have, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be triangle out the front of the hair, and you're going to maintain the cool hair in the front. And what you're going to do is you're going to bisect that quadrant to your recession point. And what you're going to create is 5 sections through the top of the head, 2 in the crown, 1 on each corner, and then you will have your front. Now, where do you start connecting to the top? Back to your dominant side. Starting in the crown, working to just above the ear, furthest to the front, but not connecting into the corner yet. During this cutting here, you're going to be pulling your guideline, which is below, out to 90 degrees, and the section of hair that you're going to be cutting in the crown and in the corner is going to be pulling that hair down to your guideline, which is your baseline. Now, we've made some pretty cool words within the hair industry, and that's how we started our haircut, and that's how we started our curriculum, and that's some very basic steps. And that's going to be the first one is your baseline, and then connecting the top with the crown corner front, which we are currently working towards, which is going to be our preliminary sketch. Last section comes from the guide below, which is going to give you the most tension for the section you cut. Moving into my non-dominant side corner now. Now we have connected the crown and corner to the baseline below. Now for the front of the hair, it's a different type of section for the shag haircut. So as we have our triangle, what we're going to do is we're going to part it out first off straight down the center. Now hopefully you should be able to see I have the center part of the front by leaving out the corners that connect to the front right there. And I'm going to be pulling this down into a section. Pulling it down to my desired length, what I'll just be going to just to the tip of the nose. And then from there, I'm going to be pulling that section straight up. The guide falls out in the front, and I now have that length. I'm going to do that same process onto the other sides of the front now. Once that's connected, we will then pull up these center pieces here. Standing now back onto my non-dominant side, pulling up that entire front triangle section. From there, my front has been cut, and now I'm going to connect it to the haircut by taking out a wide section. This is zone 4. What it's going to be is it's going to be a very wide section through the top of the head. Do keep in mind you don't have to cut this whole section in one time. What I like to do is I like to split it up into thirds or even quarters. What you're going to do for this section is you're going to start in the crown. You're going to pull it up, and you're going to watch for your guide to fall out from the back of the crown. And what it's giving you is your guide from the back to the front. Which connected just perfect. So for this haircut, we're doing more of a quote unquote flat top of it as it connects into the crown here. So we did this more of a top instead of your ramp. Why? Because this is going to be more of a mod shag. So you could actually even decrease the length in the front. And what's it going to do is it's going to give you more weight in the crown for maybe pushing it all forward. But in this case, we're going to be taking the hair back for this gentleman, which is why I left the top more flat instead of angled down forward to the front. Now to the fun part, we are going to blow dry and style our sketch, and we are going to do refining to really polish up the haircut, make it what we want it to be with dry hair. So we can add some movement, some slide cutting, and some texturizing. Now, 2 ways you can do to blow dry this hair. It's going to be on the variable of what your client wants their hair to look like. So 2 ways that you could do. The first one which you can use is the diffuser, which will create more curl for the hair. If that's going to be your case, I do recommend the Surf Tonic to utilize for it. It's going to give you that beachy vibe with the curl that's going to really help enhance it. For my guy's hair today, we're going to be using a more of your concentrating nozzle and your standard vent brush. Now, blow drying, simple, keep the dry hair dry, wet hair wet. Our little slang is starting the crown and go down. Medium heat, high airflow. Now, when you're blow drying, there's many things you can do to enhance it, even utilizing this. With the vent brush here, what I'm doing is as I grab the hair, I'm going to grab and twist and pull with it. What it's going to do is going to add a little texture and movement within the blow drying and the final shape of the haircut. So this is with the Grooming Tonic Texture Cream as it is by itself right now. And as you can see, just with this product, it's going to be a great product for your longer hair lengths. If you just want to use something very light that moves throughout the day, you might wear a hat. You might just like a very loose feel to it. The Grooming Tonic Texture Cream is absolutely great for this type of style and look. So back out to my straight shear still. And what I'm going to be doing as I'm be combing through, I'm going to be looking for any inefficiencies or anything that I want to create more movement. So I'll be doing any slide cutting or any weight removal, maybe some point cutting, whatever I feel is just going to help enhance the haircut for the style. Any questions from the audience anywhere around the world today?
I don't see too many questions, just a lot of hellos from all around the world. Speaking of around the world, speaking of around the world, we've got viewers from all over the place. USA, Canada, Chile, Finland, Mexico, Guatemala, Ireland, UK, and more popping up into the comments. So
love it, guys.
Viewership.
Love it. Nothing like free education on a day off. Little tools for the trade to help out you. Alrighty, now we're going to do a little detailing with the trimmers around the ear to catch any of the flyaways and clean up a little bit of the temple and the beard. With a longer haircut that he has, one thing to just be mindful, and it just looks better, is I wouldn't do as the glorious social media of the internet. It's called the T-Mobile fade right here in it. I wouldn't prescribe it for a longer haircut. For doing more of a tighter fade, I would maybe bald it out a little bit more through there, but being a longer haircut as such of a shag, I don't really want too much of a disconnection through the beard. Any hair that's outside of the hairline here.
Hey, Court, we do got a question. The question is, how do you determine where you're going to use the slide cutting technique?
The slide cutting technique is going to be used greatly in between a lot of your sections. So when I have my first section through the front into the back, okay? So let me resection this out to give you guys the show. So my first section was right here, and it was in between the front and the rear section. So what I did for it is, as I was combing it, I'll go through here, and this is all layered vertically in the back. So what I'm trying to do is create the movement from the side into the back to create a better flow. Does that answer the question? I hope it does. Now with the longer hair, some people may or may not want the outer regions of the hair to grow. If you want to maintain this type of look, I would suggest cleaning it up underneath. Now, if you're deciding to grow your hair out and you have no idea where your length is, uh, you could maybe keep these back here that are just outside of the hairline, but that's going to be a variable of how long your hair in the back is going to go.
Hey, Court, just an update. Our viewer that asked the question said, yes, indeed. Thank you so much.
All right. So there is around the ears and cleaning up the backside of the hairline for him. Now that I got my secondary haircut finalized here, we had the baseline, the first word that we own in the great terminology. The second aspect that we did is we covered through the crown corner and the front of how to properly connect the sides to the top of a haircut. But then after that, we went through and detailed it, and that was our sketch that we went through. So those are our 5 words that are our words in the hair industry that we put in from just loosely being used into actual terminology for the haircut and the service. So now that my primary is all done here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be emphasizing the surf cream here to help maintain a loose look for this gentleman. Make sure you fully emulsify it down. Warm it up in the hands. And I like to rake it through first with my fingertips. That way, so I can see some separation, maybe the natural partings of the hair, natural fall. And as I run out with it in my fingertips, I'll redistribute the product and start going in maybe a little deeper, maybe using a little bit more of my palm to achieve the product being distributed throughout the hair. You don't want to put it in without emulsifying it. You'll have clumps. And that is one thing you do not want. Once I put it all in there, I'm just going to start with my hair pick here and go through. The hair pick is a wonderful tool for everybody. It's just going to be helping out through detangling. Heavy product usage will slide right through it as well. And the other aspect for a lot of people, when you're doing any beard work with people that have like a fist of length or more in their beard, using a long hair pick like this, you'll be able to get underneath all that matted beard to pull it out. That's a whole different class, but that's when you expand your beard. And this is going to be that tool for it. As well, it also slides great through the hair with product.
Hey, Court, we got another question. Do you find there's a difference between using a plastic pick and a metal pick? And why would you use what you're using?
I use the metal pick. The reasoning for it is I have not found a plastic pick that has about 5 to 6 inches worth of length. So that's the answer. Secondarily with it, that plastic pick is going to fall apart more and quicker going through the quats over the lifetime using a metal pick. Any other questions for us?
Not yet. Give it a second. There's a little bit of a delay.
Oh, I'm waiting for the delay. Anyways, let me grab the camera up here. And that will be it. So with the Reuzel routine, we started off with the hair tonic to shape the hair, add that extra parting, that sectioning that's going to be great for us hair cutters. But also going to help break down any product that's in the hair and help loosen it up. After that, we went in and did the haircut and the service, as well as when I got done doing my sketch, I went in with my styling cream, which was the Grooming Tonic Texture Cream. I blow dried that in, and then I did my refining to the haircut, and I finished it off with surf cream.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Court.
Thank
Any
you.
final words?
Keep educating yourself. That's the key. Keep educating yourself. You'll get better and better every time. And you always get to learn new tricks, even no matter how long you've been in the game.
Wonderful. Love to hear it. All right. Just some final words before we sign off. Thanks for hanging out with us today on your Monday morning, afternoon, or evening. Couple things coming up. Our next Facebook Live event is going to be December 22nd, right before the holidays, with Paul Taylor Clinch. We always love to have Paul on there. He always drops his 12 steps of Christmas or 12 tips for Christmas time or the holiday time. And finally, our last Denver Academy class of the year is going to be Classics on December 7th and 8th. And we're going to have the whole Academy team there. It's going to be George, Steph, myself, and special guest educator Paul Taylor Clint from the UK coming over to the US for a full house event. After that, in January, we've got January 25th and 26th for our upcoming Classics class, the first class of 2026. Again, thanks for hanging out with us on your day off, and we will see you December 22nd. Thanks.
See ya. Thanks.